Shorthanded UCLA is eliminated in the NCAA tournament. The Dodgers make a surprising demotion, and the USC offensive line might not be as stable as previously thought. Good morning. I'm James, and this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is March 23rd, 2026. Welcome back to the home office. Do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we have an expanded look at the scoreboard, starting off with what happened in Philadelphia last night. UConn 73, UCLA 57 in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The Huskies move on to face Michigan State in the Sweet 16. I don't think this game requires a lot of highfalutin analysis here. The Bruins played a third consecutive game without leading scorer Tyler Bilodeau. He was again a last-minute scratch due to his injured right knee. To be honest with you, it wouldn't even be remotely surprising in the coming days to find out that both Bilodeau and Donovan Dent were injured far more than what was originally reported, and that they both needed surgery. It's been known to happen after a team gets eliminated. Now, maybe it happens and maybe it doesn't. But Dent didn't look like the picture of health out there either. He only scored 11. Either way, crying over spilled milk. The Bruins did do a lot of things right last night. For example, they were able to mostly corral center Terrace Reed, who should have crushed him, but he only scored 10 points. Meanwhile, 4 Bruins scored in double figures. Xavier Booker led, though, with only 13. UCLA's fatal flaw on the court was that they couldn't account for Alex Karaban, who scored 10 points in a decisive 14-0 run in the second half that erased the Bruins' final lead and put UConn far ahead. Way ahead. Now, it's true that the Bruins cut it to 4, but then Karaban led UConn on yet another run, this time 9-0, and that pretty much sealed the casket. Karaban scored a career-high 27. I also want to mention one more thing about the Huskies that really stood out. One of the reasons that the Lakers really wanted to hire their coach, Dan Hurley, a couple of years ago, is because he teaches extremely efficient offense and shooting. UConn sank almost half their shots from the field and 90% of their free throws. Ruthlessly efficient. In the days ahead, we'll talk more about what UCLA is going to face in the offseason, because it's going to be a lot. We don't know the full depth of it yet. They're going to have to replace a lot of scoring. Bilodeau and Dent, they're out of eligibility. Skyy Clark, a third starter, is petitioning to play another year. But if that doesn't happen, he's gone too. So I realize there's churn in college sports. I don't deny that. But yeah, this team could look profoundly different next year. Also last night, Utah 4, Kings 3 in overtime. The Kings have played 70 games. They have just 12 left, and they still don't even have 30 victories on the season. Last year, they had 31 victories alone at home. Galaxy won, Portland won. There is a rapid recap of the match. Just look for it on the Galaxy playlist on this channel. Meanwhile, today, the Lakers are at Detroit at 4. The Lakers are going for a 10th consecutive win. Now, Luka Doncic a couple of days ago was assessed his 16th technical foul, which should have led him to a suspension tonight. But that one was rescinded by the NBA. Doncic was part of a double technical assessed in Orlando on Saturday. Doncic claimed that the Magic player threatened to F his entire family. And the NBA kind of said, yeah, that's a wee bit over the line. Milwaukee's going to be at the Clippers at 7:30. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the news. The two-time defending World Series champs are simply too loaded with talent for a player to leave anything to chance. You could lose your job. It's literally that chart that you see, effing around and finding out, and it is a pure 45-degree angle. Well, that's what happened to Haesung Kim. He was demoted to the AAA Midwest Manure Pit on Sunday. Alex Freeland made the club instead, according to The Athletic. Now, the move is a bit of a surprise. Freeland followed up a really poor major league debut last season with an even worse spring training. Absolute disaster. Dude hit 111 this spring. So keep that in mind. It's not set in stone that he's going to be your starting second baseman. You could easily see Miguel Rojas or Santiago Espinal in that role. But why did Freeland make the team when Kim did not? In my opinion, Freeland has 3 attributes that put him ahead. 1, he switch hits. 2, he has experience at third base, and that will help for the inevitable Max Muncy injury. And then finally, most importantly, he was available. Many of you guys know I was a former sports writer. I cannot stress this enough. How many coaches, how many managers said, you know what? The thing that we rely on most, almost as much as talent, and in some cases even more than talent, you have to be there. If you're not there to play, we can't trust you as much as we can somebody who will be there to play. The Dodgers wanted Kim to rework his swing in the offseason, and I'm not saying he wasn't doing that, but then he goes and plays for Korea in the World Baseball Classic, and when he gets back from Japan, his mechanics are completely screwed. Dave Roberts hinted at that when he talked about it with the LA Daily News. Quote, I think the only thing that hurt him is that he wasn't around our guys to build on some of the stuff they were working through. I do think that not having our guys on him daily was a little bit of a detriment, unquote. Now, I say this to you as somebody who just loves the World Baseball Classic. Doesn't matter to me if the games are in the Tokyo Dome, if they're in the Dominican Republic, doesn't matter. I'm in. But the World Baseball Classic is not the World Cup. Soccer, also I might add, has a different culture than baseball. In the World Cup, country takes precedence over club. But when your spot is not assured on the best baseball team, on the best baseball league on planet Earth, you stay in Arizona, dude. Not saying you're selfish, but you need to think about that when you're waking up in a Motel 6 in Oklahoma City. Also with the Dodgers, we have discussed at length the idea that they would go to a 6-man rotation. The Dodgers technically don't have to consider it for a while, though, because there are so many off days until mid-April they can get by with a 5-man roto if they want. If you're a Dodger fan, let me know what you think. One of the selling points for USC making the college football playoffs is the Trojans return their entire starting offensive line. You have that much experience, that much capability. It's going to set up running lanes for your 2 starting running backs. Not to mention more time for a quarterback, Jaden Mayava, who should compete for a Heisman. He's going to have more time to find passing lanes. But do the Trojans actually return with all 5 starting linemen intact? Because there's a battle of brewing in spring ball. Justin Toanunu started all 13 games at right tackle this year and for the most part acquitted himself well. But USC's top recruit, Kenny Pepe, the number 1 tackle in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports, is getting a long look in spring ball because To'anunu is recovering from a surgical procedure. Lincoln Riley said, quote, Pepe is an interesting combination of size and power that helps a lot of times. It takes years of a college offseason program to develop, but he's an athletic guy too. Each day you can tell it's a little better. He'll be tough to keep off the field, unquote. Meanwhile, Tobias Raymond has been taking a lot of snaps at center instead of guard because Killian O'Connor is recovering from an injury of his own. At this point, the only position that we know that is set in stone on the Trojans' offensive line is Alani Noah at left guard. Now, I'm not trying to tell you USC's rebuilding their line from scratch, but there may be some competition in the days ahead. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. If you're a UCLA fan, how do you look back on this particular season? And for that matter, are you okay with Hyseon Kim going back to Oklahoma? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.